Hello and welcome to the webinar today. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. So this is not a webinar, this is a Zoom meeting. I'm gonna mute everybody, and it's not because I don't love you, it's just that way we can all hear a little bit better. All new, perfect. Okay, so this is our final week of the launch guide, and I'm excited because I want you guys to now focus on finding your builders that you can send through the launch guide. I'm feeding a baby and he wants to whack here's his hand. He wants to whack the keyboard. But I want you guys to now find people to send through the launch guide, because the beauty of this is we've just walked through how to build your team, like literally how to get to elite. And now anybody can do this. Like you can show anybody how to do this. So today we're just going to focus on going through the launch guide. So I am going to share my screen. We're going to go through the launch guide. So last week we were talking about how to do a membership overview or a wellness consult. Now they call them lifestyle overviews. They keep changing the name, but it's the same thing. You're meeting with somebody, you're showing them how to use their products that they got and how to create a new lifestyle with doTERRA. So that's why they're calling it a lifestyle overview. So you should have watched the class on how to do a lifestyle overview with Laura Jacobs. And Laura Jacobs is a double diamond in doTERRA, which means she's hit presidential, and then she started over. She kept her presidential team, but she signed herself up again. They allow you to do that once you hit presidential, and she started building another team on her front line. So she built herself to diamond. Wow, it's awesome. Anyway, she's amazing. Her product knowledge is so amazing. So I hope that you took time to watch her training, because she's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to how to do a wellness consult or lifestyle overview or whatever. So she's excellent. So you should have watched that. And now, I want you guys to think about ways to support your new builders. One thing that I love about doTERRA is the community that I've created for myself. I have picked who I work with, and I am surrounded by some of my best friends doing this business, and it's been amazing. And even if they don't do the business and they just use the product, we have a lot of fun together. So what I love is, I am really big on getting together with my team at least once a month. Now, obviously, I have team all over the world, and I'm not ever able to get to everybody once a month, which I wish I was, but I can't. But what I do is, where I'm at the time, I do a monthly open house, and I get together with all of my, those are clean. I get together with all of my business builders in the area, and we go to lunch, and we just talk about what's going well, what we want to do with this, what we want to create. And then we exchange ideas, and we just support each other, because it's so important to feel like you're on this journey with somebody else. So maybe it's just you and one other person that's building right now, but you could just get together once a month in person and just support each other. I mean, I would, of course, recommend mentoring them more frequently than that. And we're going to go through how to do some mentoring in just a minute. But I would just, create a fun little culture and a community for your team, the people that you're enrolling and getting started, because that's what's so fun. I go back to Utah once a month, and I do an open house, and I do a business lunch. And I have enjoyed going back and seeing some of my closest friends. And some of the people didn't start out as close friends. They just started out people that were using oils, and I got to know them and loved them. So create yourself a fun community, and you'll find that people will be more committed to staying solid with doTERRA if they feel like they've got another group of people to work with. I move quite frequently because I am restless, and I love, I'm a religious person, so I always go to church, and it's always easier when I go to a place where I feel like there's a community and not just where you show up on Sunday, so I always think about that. Like, I want to be that welcoming, church, so to speak. Not that we're a church, but the point is I want to be that welcoming community for other people. So here, another way to support your builders is to do some mentoring. And there is a page on mentoring. So let's say that you've just enrolled somebody and they want to do the business. The first thing that you want to do is you want to walk them through all of the guides that we mentioned. You want to do their lifestyle overview. Do you want to say hi? Hang on. You want to do their lifestyle overview, and then you want to go through the share guide with them, and then say hi, everyone. Say, I'll make a cameo appearance for the last week. You want to do a share guide with them, and then you want to walk them through the build guide, and the build guide just talks about why you would choose doTERRA, and then you're gonna have them do the launch guide. Now, I am in the process of getting my webinar. I keep saying webinar, you guys. I don't know what my obsession with webinars is, but I'm getting my website done, and it is going to have all 6 of these weeks recorded and posted so that your people can watch. So, and then, if you're listening to this recording in the future, you guys can invite your people as well. So this will always be a great resource to send your builders to. So you'll also want to do, so you've walked them through the system, and then what you want to do also is mentor them on a weekly basis. And you may think, oh my gosh, I have no idea how to mentor somebody. I have no idea what I'm doing. But the key is you're just walking people through the path that you've just walked down. And sometimes it's easier to mentor somebody or to receive mentoring from somebody who has just barely been where you currently are. I love to help people start this business, but sometimes I feel like people are like, oh man, that's a little bit overwhelming. You're Blue Diamond. You have a team of 30,000 people. I haven't even signed my first person up yet. And sometimes I feel like it might be a little difficult for them to relate to me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not willing and I don't do it. But if they're working with someone who just barely started, that person can say, hey, this is exactly what I did. I just barely did this. Here's what worked well for me. Here's what I found to be successful. It's kind of like when I was getting ready to have my first baby. My mom was great, but she hadn't had a baby in like 25 years. I wanted to talk to my sister who had just barely done it because I felt like she just experienced it. So anyway, so it's really great. You're the perfect person for your new builders because you've just completed this training and you're building as well. So you can give them really good advice. So the first thing that's important is to make sure that you are still receiving mentoring yourself. I love that it says here that you want to be mentored. You're scheduling weekly calls with your mentor. You're reaching out more frequently as needed in a predetermined method of communication. So maybe that means texting. Like if you need some text support, great. You can reach out. You can even text me. I'm happy to help you. And one good thing that you can do, and I really want to start doing this better, is sending a picture of your completed success check-in prior to your weekly call. Here's your success check-in right here. So if you have this done and you have the people that you're working with fill this out as well, you're going to have a more efficient call because you're going to be able to just go through this worksheet really well. And you can just write it out, take a picture and send it in a text and say, here was my week and an overview for you so that you can see what's going on. But here's also what I'm going to be doing this week. And then you can see the goal that they're planning on working towards. So I would invite you, anybody that you are currently mentoring right now, have them fill in the success check-in before you talk. And then make sure that you're calling at the appointed time. Now, I am not perfect. I make mistakes and sometimes I run late. I am working really hard to always be timely on my calls. And the key word is working. This really is a process where we're doing our best and always working to do better. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect right away, but just that you're working towards being better. And then being a mentor. So you're doing the exact same things that you're doing for your person. This is a business of duplication. You're scheduling weekly mentor calls with your builders. And you can also figure out a way that they can reach you outside of your calls. So maybe you can say, hey, if you need to get a hold of me outside of our call, that's great. You can call me, or you can text me, or you could send me an email. Make sure that you get their success check-in before you meet with them. And that will give you the ability to really focus on what they need to work on that week. And it'll be perfect. And then one thing that you can do is invite your upline to join you in 3-way calls with your builders as you grow in your mentoring skills. So let's say you're brand new and you really just don't feel confident yet. That is okay. Invite your mentor to help you to your calls. I love this thing right here where it says, you don't need to know everything. Let the launch guide and the launch videos be the experts. That's so true. I have some people who don't want to do classes yet because they feel like, well, I need to use the oils and get to know them better first. Honestly, what a great way than learning together. I know, if I'm ever asked to teach something at my church or give a talk at my church, I always learn about the subject. It forces me to learn more about that subject right then and there. And I'm still not the expert on it, but I'm sharing what I have personally learned. And that's what you're going to be doing with your classes and as you're mentoring. You're sharing what you've personally learned. You don't have to be perfect. I don't certainly know everything. I really like focusing on the solutions, not the problems. I don't, it gets very draining to have mentoring calls with somebody where all they want to do is complain and tell you everything that's wrong. Because you know what? That doesn't get anybody anywhere. It just brings in negative energy into a call. And that doesn't mean you don't. And if you need a vent and you've had a rough week, by all means, the person that your upline is the best person to talk to. But my best advice is to very quickly then get it out, talk about what happened, and then talk about, okay, so what is the solution to these? Like if you've had a week where literally everybody canceled the classes, let's figure out the solution. Why did that happen? Why are all of your hosts canceling? Or let's say, and I've had that too. And so I stop and think, was I maybe just getting people who really weren't wanting to host? I mean, is that the problem? It's very quickly focus on the solution. And you want to make sure that you don't ever talk negatively about your downline. So that's not what you want to be doing. It's just talking about negatively about everyone in your downline on your calls, because that will be not as good. So I like to keep my calls to 15 minutes. With my key frontline leaders, we do talk for 30 minutes a week, but I really do like to keep them to 15 minutes just to briefly check in, see how it's going. Because you're going to be doing trainings and working on personal development during the week. The calls are just to check in. So these are just some ideas. Now, this is a really great way to structure your mentor call. What's working in your business? What's not working? And then very quickly moving into the solutions of what's not working. And then go through your accountability. Okay, so what did you do last week? What did you do to prepare? What did you do to invite? What did you do to present? What did you do to enroll? And what did you do to support? And then talk about your goals and intentions for that new week. So that's going to be huge. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is mindset. Mindset is so key in this business. One of the leaders that I look up to the most in doTERRA is actually somebody on my team, and it's Melody Watts. What I like about Melody is she's got a very strong mindset. She thinks that she can, and so she does. I remember when she was like, I'm going to hit Presidential Diamond in June, and I was like, that's awesome. And I was closer to Presidential Diamond than she was. But who actually made it happen? She did, because her mindset was in such a great place. She was determined she was going to do it, and so she did. She made it happen. And that doesn't mean she didn't have some things fall apart and some people not show up or cancel their classes or whatever. She had some things happen, but she had the mindset that she was going to make it happen. So I always tell people, if they want to be successful in the business, the very first thing you need to do is fully believe in the product. Because if you don't believe in the product, you're going to have a very, very difficult time telling people about a product that you don't believe in. And if you're also trying to build without an LRP setup, you'll struggle with that too, because you clearly don't believe in the product enough to engage in purchasing it. And money may be tight, but I get it. My husband and I were living off $1,700 a month, and I figured out how to get my 100 PV every month because I wanted to. It's like, you know what? I cannot tell people to buy this product if I'm not buying it myself. And so I truly, truly believe in the product, and that was huge. And I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings or, I know things are tight, but things can be tight. But the point is, you can do it. If there's a will, there's a way. And really it will also drive you to just be more successful in the business. If you're like, oh, I'm ordering because I believe in the product. I have to have this product in my home. You also need to hit, and you'll notice there's a rank listed next to each belief level. To hit the rank of elite, you've really got to believe in the product. If you find yourself stuck at elite forever, maybe the problem is you don't really truly believe in doTERRA as a company, or maybe you really don't believe in network marketing. So you're able to share the product, but you're not able to get builders on board. And you really need to be able to get builders to be able to hit Premier. You need to have builders. So really, make sure that you truly believe the company believe in doTERRA and the product. And you also have to believe in yourself. Absolutely have to believe in your abilities. And you'll notice, okay, so maybe you believe in yourself, but you just don't believe in your builders. You're like, I've got them, but they kind of suck. Well, you're going to struggle helping those builders hit Premier and Silver. So then you truly need to understand why you're doing this business to be able to reach the level of Diamond. And then truly being able to believe that you can influence others before you're able to hit Blue and Presidential. And I agree with that. I was at Diamond for a year and a half, and I believed in why I was doing this, but I'm like, maybe I just got lucky. I know I have good leaders, but I don't know if I can really influence people. And once I was able to master that, I hit Blue Diamond, and it was amazing. So this gives you tips for building belief in the products. And then, I always tell people to believe in the company. One of the best things you can do is attend their events. Go to the post-convention tour in your area. Make sure that you're attending convention. If it's an option, go on the incentive trip that's happening in January. That's a great thing to do as well. So, and I love that right here. Everything begins with belief. Belief fuels the actions that create your results. Build your belief in doTERRA. Build your belief in doTERRA products to fuel your actions of sharing and create the results you desire in your health and your business. I am more committed than ever to telling people about this PB Assist Junior. My little boys both have really dry skin, and when they take that PB Assist, they don't have their rashes anymore. That's huge. We've been using it for a month, and I'm excited. And now I'm even more excited to share it with people. So really continue using your products, and the more you love them, the more you can share. Now, one thing, these just give you some fun little exercises that you can do. And I am going to just let you go through page 19 on your own, and that is creating your story. Facts tell, stories sell. Sharing personal experiences about how doTERRA's products have provided powerful solutions can help others be more open to learning about natural solutions. So you can come up with your own story, and it will help you in your business if you really do have a story of what you like having the oils, why you like to have them. So now you have the opportunity, and you'll notice that this is the conclusion of it, but you have the opportunity to invite other people to do this training with you. And if you get 3 people to do this training with you, and they're going to launch themselves to elite, you're a silver. That's huge. Now, I should clarify, 3 people that are in 3 separate legs. That's huge, finding 3 people who are committed to doing this program. And once you are successfully hitting elite on a regular basis, I would recommend moving on to the Grow to Premier Guide. I wouldn't do this unless you're hitting silver or elite on your own. And you're hitting elite because you're hitting elite, not because you signed up one person who hits elite with their team every month. So I want to make sure you're hitting elite because of the actions that you're currently taking and not someone else on your team. And the only reason I say that is you want to make sure that you can follow the steps. And if you don't really have builders or people ordering under you, it's going to be difficult. So, the next step is the Premier Guide. So I love that they have a next step from here. Now, I mentioned I'm going to, on a weekly basis, and if you're watching this recording and this is not the live version for you, I will have these recorded and posted on my EO Builder website, but just the basic webinars, or I don't know, the basic meetings on, placements, compensation plan, how to invite, how to do a business opportunity, how to do the basic things with your business. So you'll be doing that. So this week for your assignments, I want you to go through and set up your mentoring calls with those people who are on your team, who you've enrolled, who you work with. And I want you to start implementing the success check-in for your team, because you'll have much better calls. So I'm going to be doing this as well. And I'm excited about it because, quite frankly, it'll make it easier for my mentoring if I have this stuff ahead of time. So I'm going to send this to all the people that I'll be mentoring, tonight and on Thursday. And I'm going to have them fill this out before we talk. So I want you guys to do that as well. And I want you to fill it out before you talk to your mentor, because it'll be so much easier. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to work on, figure out where the broken link is with your mindset. What belief levels need to be mastered? Maybe you're struggling to believe in the product. And if you are, that's okay. It's okay. At least you know where the missing link in the belief level is, and you can focus on fixing it. Maybe you're like, I don't know about network marketing. Well, I would reach out to your mentor and say, hey, what helped you to really truly believe in this business model, or attend a post-convention tour? But figure out where you need to master your belief level right now, and you'll find that you're going to grow. So figure out where is your missing link and work on that. And then I want you to find one person to do this launch guide. So I've got one thing per page. So you're sending this to the people you're mentoring, your success check-in, and you're filling it out with your mentor. You're figuring out where the missing link is in your mindset, and you're going to come up with a pretty good commitment to overcome that. And then, the last thing I wanted you to do is come up with your story. So do the story on page 22. So you're going to be doing your story. So I think that as you guys do these things, you'll be strong. And you're inviting one person to do this. Got it. 4 things. You're doing those 3 pages, and then you're finding one person that you're going to send through this training because they're all recorded and they're all done and ready for you. So you're going to send one person you're inviting one person to do the launch guide with you. And then if you're a solid elite, you're going to move on to the premier guide. So it's awesome. So as you do the homework assignment this week, I want you guys to really take it seriously and get it done. I know this is our last week and we won't have a Zoom meeting next week on this particular topic. But take it seriously like you really do. Take it seriously like we're going to all be meeting and talking about this next week. And this week I will be giving away a bottle of Melissa. Wow. So I would really encourage you to take this very, very seriously. And one of the stipulations for earning the bottle of Melissa is that you had to have done all 6 weeks of the homework. So I'll have Bree check to make sure that you completed this. Now, if you want to go back and make up missing weeks, that's totally fine with me. We can do that. But I just want her to see that you've taken it all seriously and done all 6 weeks. So thank you so much for being on with me one last time for the launch. And if you guys will all do me a favor and be in touch with me on Facebook or text me or email me a topic that you would like covered in a future Zoom call, because I want to make sure that all of the resources that people need are going to be recorded and posted, so that as you have your new builders hop on, that you can say, oh, you need to see about the compensation plan. Here is a Zoom call on the compensation plan. So you guys, as a bonus, will just message me sometime today or tomorrow and let me know what other topics you would like to hear in our meetings. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I just wanted to thank you one last time for being on. So thank you so much, and good luck with your journey.